Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Let me ask you something powerful. Have you ever walked away from someone, stopped responding, stopped explaining, stopped trying, and suddenly everything changed? The moment you chose silence, things got clearer. People who ignored you started watching you. People who took you for granted started wondering where you went. People who thought you would always be there realized too late that silence changed everything. Because silence is not empty. Silence is a message. Silence is a lesson. Silence is a turning point. When you stop arguing, when you stop begging, when you stop repeating yourself, that silence becomes the loudest thing they ever heard. They didn't listen when you spoke, but they paid attention when you went quiet. That's what Stoic philosophy teaches. You don't control others, you control yourself. Marcus Aurelius said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." Your silence is proof that you no longer chase, no longer plead, no longer react. You chose yourself. Most people don't understand the power of silence until it hits them. They expected you to stay loud, emotional, and available. They expected you to fight for them. They expected you to continue giving what they didn't appreciate. But when you went silent, the truth finally showed up. They realized what they lost. They realized you were the one who held everything together. They realized too late that silence changed everything. And maybe part of you is still wondering if staying silent was the right choice. Let me tell you this with confidence. It was. Silence showed your growth. Silence protected your dignity. Silence demanded respect. And in this video, I'm going to show you why silence is the strongest response you can ever give, and how it becomes the moment that turns your life, your relationships, your confidence, and your power around. They only understand your value when access is gone. They only see your worth when you stop giving. They only hear your silence when you stop speaking. Before we move on, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My silence changed everything. My peace is my power. Now let's begin. Number 1. Silence makes them realize what they took for granted. When you stop talking, people start thinking. When you stop giving, people start missing. When you stop showing up, people finally feel the empty space you used to fill. The truth is, many people don't value you until you remove yourself from the room. They get comfortable. They assume you'll always answer, always forgive, always fix, always understand. But the second you choose silence, everything shifts. You are no longer predictable. You are no longer available. You are no longer someone they can lean on without giving effort back. Silence is a mirror, and when you walk away quietly, people are forced to look at their own behavior. Suddenly they remember the way you cared. Suddenly they notice the way you listened. Suddenly they feel the loss of your presence. They realize too late that silence changed everything. Stoics believed that the strongest statement is calm behavior, not loud words. Epictetus said, "If you wish to be a writer, write. If you wish to be a philosopher, think." In other words, stop explaining and start acting. Silence is action. When you go quiet, you are saying, "You didn't appreciate my voice, so now you can experience my absence." Silence teaches lessons words never could. Silence makes people see who you were. Silence exposes who they were. Silence creates distance that speaks louder than arguments. You don't have to block them. You don't have to curse them out. You don't have to post quotes online hoping they understand. Just stop talking. Stop replying. Stop chasing. Their curiosity will start burning. Their confidence will drop. Their ego will shrink. because silence is uncomfortable to those who took advantage of your presence. One day, they will think about everything you did, everything you gave, and everything they ignored. And they will realize the truth. You were the blessing. You were the peace. You were the real one. But silence changed everything. Number 2, silence shows maturity, emotional control, and self-respect. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not fear. Silence is self-control, and most people do not know how to handle someone who is calm, composed, and unbothered. Anyone can scream, argue, or react when they feel hurt, ignored, or disrespected. That takes no strength. But choosing not to respond, choosing not to fight for someone who wouldn't fight for you, choosing not to explain yourself to someone who already made up their mind, that is real power. Stoic philosophy teaches that your reaction is always your responsibility. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That means even if someone disrespects you, ignores you, betrays you, or walks away, they don't control your peace. Silence proves that you refuse to give someone power over your emotions. It shows that you are no longer moved by attention or approval or validation. You're controlled by self-respect. And trust me, nothing shakes people more than seeing you calm when they expected chaos. They expected you to beg. They expected you to defend yourself. They expected you to chase closure. Instead, you chose silence, and that silence ruined their confidence, because now they don't know where they stand with you. Silence forces people to face the consequences of their own choices. It leaves them alone with their thoughts. They replay every moment. They question themselves. They wonder if they misjudged you. They wonder why you're so calm. They wonder who you're becoming without them, and that uncertainty is louder than any argument you could ever have. Seneca said, "Anger, an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured." When you stay silent, you protect yourself from emotional damage. You keep your dignity clean. You stay in control. You don't lose energy over someone who never deserved it. You don't drain yourself trying to prove your worth. Silence is the moment you stop letting someone take your peace. Silence is the moment you choose yourself. Silence is the moment you reclaim your power. Anyone can talk. Anyone can argue. Few can stay silent with dignity and walk away with self-respect. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments right now. My silence is not weakness. My silence is self-respect. Number 3. Silence exposes people's true intentions. Silence is not just a response. Silence is a spotlight. When you stop explaining, defending, arguing, or proving yourself, you give people space to reveal who they truly are. The moment you go silent, you will see the truth with shocking clarity. If someone only cared about winning arguments, they will disappear. If someone only wanted control, they will panic. If someone only stayed because you chased them, they will fall back. If someone truly valued you, they will feel your absence and step up. People reveal themselves when you stop talking. The Stoics taught that character is exposed in silence, not in words. Epictetus said, "Only the educated are free," meaning the person who is in control of themselves cannot be controlled by others. When you choose silence, you stop feeding people with your reaction. You stop giving them the attention they used to live on. You stop playing their game. They can no longer manipulate your emotions because you shut the door to their influence. People who never cared will feel nothing when you go silent. People who used you will look for their next target. People who thought you'd be forever available will realize you're not waiting anymore. And the ones who truly had love, respect, or loyalty for you will come forward. Silence forces the truth to the surface. It separates the real from the fake. It shows you who was loyal only when things were easy, and who still stays when things go quiet. Silence is how you find out who respects you without needing to hear your voice. People who care will communicate. People who don't will make excuses. People who feel guilt will avoid you. People who feel loss will reach for you. Silence teaches you more than arguments ever will. When you stop talking, you start seeing. You save your energy, you protect your peace, you learn who deserves a place in your life and who never did. Silence shows maturity, but it also shows intelligence. You are no longer reacting, you are observing. You are no longer giving chances. You are watching who tries. You are no longer explaining, you are letting actions reveal everything. Number 4. Silence makes people feel your absence more than your words ever could. There is something powerful about disappearing without noise, walking away without announcing it, detaching without making a scene. When you stop giving someone access to your energy, your time, your attention, your responses, they feel the shift. They might pretend they don't notice. They might act unbothered. They might tell others you don't matter. But deep down, silence shakes people more than anger, tears, arguments, or explanations ever will. Silence makes people sit with themselves. Silence forces them to confront the reality that you no longer react, no longer chase, no longer entertain their behavior. The Stoics believed that real strength is quiet. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy," meaning you move on, you level up, you protect your peace, and you don't give them the satisfaction of seeing you break. When you go silent, the person who once took you for granted suddenly realizes how valuable your presence was. They remember the conversations, the support, the loyalty, the love, the care, all the things they thought they could replace. Silence makes them replay every moment in their head. They start asking themselves, did I push too far? Did I lose something good? They feel the loss not because you said anything, but because you stopped saying everything. Silence makes you rare. Silence makes you unforgettable. People only value what they can no longer reach. You become mysterious. You become unpredictable. You become someone they cannot read. And that is power. Stoic philosophy teaches us not to beg for respect. If someone doesn't see your value, let them feel your absence. Your silence becomes the loudest message. I am done giving you a privilege you never appreciated. You don't destroy them. You don't attack them. You don't expose them. You simply remove yourself. Let them talk. Let them judge. Let them guess. Your silence will speak for you. It will travel through every memory they ever had of you. It will remind them that your presence was a blessing, and by the time they realize it, it will be too late. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments right now. My absence is my message. Number 5. Silence protects your energy and removes you from emotional traps. Every argument, every insult, every guilt trip, every manipulation requires one thing from you, a reaction. When you stop reacting, the trap breaks. Silence protects your energy more than any explanation ever could. People who want control will always try to trigger you. They will poke at your insecurities, bring up the past, twist your words, or play the victim just to get you emotional. If you explode, they win. If you defend yourself, they win. If you explain your side over and over again, they win. Silence takes the game out of their hands. The Stoics taught that no one can disturb your peace unless you hand them the key. Seneca said, "If a person gave away your body to some passerby, you'd be furious. Yet you hand over your mind to anyone who insults you." That quote hits hard because it's true. You can block someone physically, but if they still control your emotions, they still own you. Silence is how you take that power back. When you choose not to respond, you deny them access to your mind. You stop feeding dramatics with attention. You stop reacting to mind games. You stop letting people rent space in your heart. Silence says, "I see what you're doing and I refuse to play." Real strength is not yelling. Real strength is not proving your point. Real strength is staying calm when someone expects to shake you. People who want to manipulate you hate silence because they can't twist silence. They can't argue with silence. They can't feed their ego with silence. So they reveal themselves. They get desperate. They overreact. They show their true character. And you don't have to do a thing. Your silence is the shield that keeps your peace safe. It gives you time to breathe, to think, to stay in control. When you don't respond, you stop creating more damage. You stop wasting energy. And you stop bleeding emotionally for someone who doesn't deserve access to your heart. Silence is not weakness. Silence is discipline. Silence is emotional armor. It is you saying, "My peace matters more than proving a point." Number 6, silence gives you back your power because you stop chasing people. One of the fastest ways to lose power is chasing someone who doesn't appreciate you. The moment you start begging, convincing, proving, explaining, or trying to show someone your worth, you lower yourself. The moment you go silent, you rise. When you stop reaching out, when you stop checking on them, when you stop trying to fix things alone, something powerful happens. Control shifts. They feel it. They notice it. They may not say anything, but they feel the change. Silence shows that you no longer need them to validate you. You're no longer trying to save something they were never willing to protect. You stop giving discounts on your love, loyalty, time, and attention. That is power. The Stoics believed that the only thing you truly own is yourself. Not other people, not their choices, not their emotions, just you. Epictetus said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things he does not have, but rejoices in what he does have." When you stop chasing, you stop grieving over someone who wasn't choosing you. You start valuing what you do have, your life, your growth, your peace. Silence turns your focus inward. You start building yourself instead of trying to fix others. You start improving your mind, your goals, your confidence, your life. That is when people who once ignored you suddenly remember your worth. They remember your kindness, your loyalty, your presence. They go searching for what they took for granted. But here is the secret. When you stop chasing, you finally learn who actually cares. If someone respects you, they will meet you halfway. If someone loves you, they will show effort. If someone sees your value, they will step up without being begged. Silence makes that clear. You stop pouring into the wrong cups. You stop feeding empty connections. You stop trying to make someone choose you, because when someone truly wants you in their life, you won't have to chase. They will stay. Silence is you refusing to run after anyone who walked away. Silence is you saying, "If you care, you know where to find me." And if they don't come, you didn't lose anything. They lost everything. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments right now. My silence shows my value. Number 7. Silence teaches you self-control, and self-control is unmatched power. When you master silence, you master yourself. Anyone can react, anyone can explode, anyone can yell or argue when they're hurt, angry or frustrated. That's easy. But the person who can stay calm when everything is trying to drag them into chaos, that person is truly powerful. Silence is a test of discipline, and discipline separates the strong from the weak. The Stoics lived by the belief that you cannot control the world, but you can always control your response. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." When you apply silence, you prove that you are not ruled by impulses. You are not controlled by words, insults, or pressure. You are operating from strength, not emotion. Silence makes you unstoppable because you are no longer a puppet pulled by someone else's strings. People lose control because they need to respond. People panic because they need to defend themselves. People crumble because they need validation. But silence means you don't need anything. Silence is self-respect. When you refuse to be pulled into drama, you break the cycle. When you stop reacting to insults, you starve negativity. When you don't respond, you send the message that your peace is more valuable than their chaos. Silence shows emotional intelligence. It shows maturity. It shows that you are thinking, not just feeling. It shows that your life is bigger than the argument someone is trying to drag you into. People never forget the moment you stop reacting. They might get louder, they might try harder, they might provoke you because they want the old version of you back. But silence tells them the old version is gone. You outgrew the stage where you had to prove yourself. You no longer need to explain your character to anyone. Silence lets people judge themselves through their own reflection. While they lose control, you rise. While they speak in anger, you move with purpose. While they waste time, you protect your sanity. Silence builds strength in places pain once lived. It trains your mind, sharpens your judgment, and makes you wiser than before. You become someone who cannot be manipulated, triggered, or provoked. And once you reach that level of self-control, no one can ever take that power away. Number 8. Silence makes success your response, and success is the loudest payback in the world. Silence is not just the absence of words. Silence is the decision to invest your energy into growth instead of conflict. When you stop explaining, when you stop reacting, when you stop begging people to see your worth, you finally have the time and mental space to build a better life. You take all the energy you once wasted on arguments, stress, and pain, and you put it into becoming stronger. While others are watching, talking, guessing, and gossiping, you are leveling up quietly. That is why silence is dangerous. That is why silence is powerful. The Stoics always believed that action is louder than emotion. Seneca said, "Better to conquer your anger than conquer a city," meaning real victory is not beating someone in an argument. Real victory is rising so high that the argument no longer matters. When you choose silence, you choose elevation. You start focusing on your goals, your health, your dreams, your money, your self-respect. You stop chasing people and start chasing purpose. And nothing attracts respect faster than growth. There is nothing louder than success that people thought you would never reach. Your silence turns into a message. You didn't need revenge. You didn't need to hurt anyone. You didn't need to tear someone down. You simply became better. And the moment they see your progress, they understand everything. The apology they never gave you becomes useless. The lies they told about you don't matter. The disrespect they showed you goes back to them. They realize too late. Silence changed everything. Silence is you saying, "Watch me from a distance. I'm done talking." Every goal you hit becomes a sentence. Every improvement becomes a paragraph. Every achievement becomes a chapter. And your peace becomes the final lesson they never expected to learn. You don't need to tell anyone you moved on. They will see it. You don't need to prove you healed. Your life will show it. You don't need to announce your comeback. Your results will speak louder than your voice ever could. Silence is not empty. Silence is full of growth, wisdom, healing, strength, ambition, self-respect, and transformation. Remember this: silence is the ultimate power. It is not weakness, it is strategy. It is not absence, it is presence in its strongest form. When you stop reacting, stop explaining, stop chasing, and stop giving access to people who don't value you, you reclaim control over your life. Stoic philosophy teaches that no one can disturb your peace unless you allow it. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Your silence protects your energy, exposes truth, demands respect, and lets success speak on your behalf. The people who underestimated you will notice, but only too late. Silence changes everything because it transforms you, your focus, and your destiny. Walk in calm confidence. Build quietly. Protect your peace. Let your life, not your words, be the loudest statement. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My silence is my power. I rise above. I grow. I succeed. If this message hit you, subscribe, like, and share this video. Walk forward with quiet strength and let your silence change everything.